D-Dub.
D-Dub in the building.
I haven't watched this yet. It actually came out earlier this morning, and I saw that it was basically a state of play. We finally have more on Ghost of Tsushima, which is going to be coming out. I'm not even sure the release date, because I don't have a PS4, so this, I guess, is just one more game to actually get, hyped about, but I figured we would just go through and kind of check it out. It's a Sucker Punch game. I knew that going in. This game does look incredible. We saw some stuff at E3 last year, so that was pretty cool. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a really good game. I thought that from the start. A lot of these games, you can't really tell what it's going to be. Some people get hyped. You don't really see much of a game. Game comes out, it's just kind of it was good. But for some reason, upon seeing this game last year at the Game Awards, I don't know, something about it. They didn't really show any HUD.
Has been at the heart of our open world design
they just showed this exploration, very vast. Something very calming about it as like an adventure game. I don't know, it seems really nice, kind of probably like not basic, but like a little bit more of a basic type of gameplay with an emphasis on kind of mastering. Like it seems like you're gonna have your sword, you're a ninja, you're gonna have different gear, you're gonna have different techniques, abilities, you're gonna get, it's all these types of genres now kind of cross over, so that even when you're basically having a third-person ninja game, it's still sort of like an action RPG, like platformer. You're killing stuff, you're getting experience like an RPG, you're finding different gear, you have different missions, like a journal, you got to go to different cities, find out different mysteries, usually like a good, storyline and cutscenes are kind of buried deep into it. So, we got a horse. This is Breath of the Wild here, but, look at this game. For it being PS4, I honestly, even after that tech demo, for Unreal Engine 5, that's not what the PS5 is going to be looking like, and it's kind of funny to see all these silly gamers, and gaming is hilarious. I try to just basically keep my own views, but I know even when I put them out there, I'm basically part of the gamers. So when people say, oh man, all the gamers, or this group of people, or everyone on Twitter, everyone kind of gets lumped in, but I like to think that I'm, just a little bit smarter and niftier than the rest, but, I use my brain, I use critical thinking. I'm not like everyone else that saw the Unreal Engine 5 and was like, oh, it only took 30 seconds for PS5 to win. Because I saw that on Twitter. I saw people just saying and touting ridiculous things, saying that, Xbox had a whole day to do it. They didn't pull it off. They had a whole bunch of time to do it. They had a 25, 30-minute presentation, however long it was, and they couldn't pull it off. And basically, the PS5 is amazing. It's already amazing. The Gen War for Generation 9 is already over, and PS5 is coming out on the top, baby, because it has Unreal Engine 5, even though the same engine will be on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X2, Xbox One, Xbox One X.
But what about the things that you don't know about?
And they were saying that engine was also going to be reversible and on current tech, but I don't know about that. And if it is, it's probably not going to be that huge. But look at these games that are coming out already. I feel like another 2 years with a PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, we'd be seeing more polished types of games like this. We would be seeing the next Final Fantasy VII Part 2, but with less of like the graphical issues and some of the stuff that they, I don't know, I guess they just didn't totally polish up was kind of the problem. Like there was some low polygon stuff, some low textures on some of the buildings, some like JPEG type images of, posters and stuff like that on certain walls that really would stick out like a sore thumb and would probably have better to just have deleted them. But those are the types of polish that engines like this, games like this, 2 more years with a Xbox One X or PlayStation 4 Pro, which, we're kind of going to get that anyways, and that's going to be a video unto itself, but, game systems, they now have a different type of shelf life. They're not so easily thrown out once the next new console comes out. I mean, back in the day, if you got the Nintendo 64, you weren't really going back and looking at like your Super Nintendo. They were pretty much already phasing the thing out, whereas now, I mean, we're 4 years out from the Wii U and we're still seeing like independent, some of these crowd funds even trying to get like their indie game. And even though it's an indie game, it's a little bit bigger, but it's still third party. It's not a huge first party game, but we're still seeing people trying to bring that to the platform. We're still seeing new games being released for the Dreamcast, and sure, we're so far away, but it's not like it used to be back in the day. I mean, now people are still able to get games on Xbox 360 at Walmart. There's still people who just never got an Xbox One, and we're 6.5 years away from the Xbox 360 being the hot thing. Xbox 360 itself is 11, 12 years old. I mean, 2005 it came out, so no, like 15 years old, and you could still buy games for it. And there's still people that are using that, maybe not as their main console, but I'm sure some households of younger kids probably have their parents' Xbox 360, and rather than going and buying the biggest, newest games, they probably rifle through at a Walmart or a Kmart or a whatever. I mean, you can find Xbox 360 games everywhere for pennies, $1. They still sell them. It's basically one of that, along with PS3, was kind of the only systems that are still available at like a GameStop. I mean, those games have been there the entire time, whereas by the time a PS3 came out, you couldn't still find GameCube games. Maybe in certain bigger cities, maybe, but at least for my GameStop, there's nothing like that. But then you can still find their small section of like PlayStation Vita. So I don't know, I'm just kind of ranting and raving here, but this game looks great, and I can't wait for the future to kind of come by for people to talk about the orchestra play, whatever you want to call it, the orchestral presentation of the song from this game at last year's Game Awards, or the previous year. I forget. They're all like blurring together, and with there being no E3 this year, I mean, this is like one of the last tentpole titles for PS4, so I mean, this is going to be getting a big push, and I'm guessing, like I said, I don't know when the release date is. I'm guessing it's going to be like by September, maybe August, and it probably says it somewhere in this trailer. But like I said, I didn't tune into this earlier today. I got the notification for it, said it was going live in a half hour, and then 2 hours went by and I totally forgot about it, so I didn't watch it live. I didn't bother. Seeing this on my screen here, there's a lot of this, it's not blur, but it's kind of, I don't know, the lighting's a bit harsh, at least when you're looking that way, but this seems like a very kind of spiritual type of game, you know, very story-driven, probably a big story about, you know, being like passed down from like your ancestors, stuff like that, so a spiritual, heavy kind of feel makes sense. And I mean, you see a lot of these fire embers, you see over the trees here, there's like a storm from hell going on behind here. So this is cool though. I mean, in that last trailer we didn't see any of the HUD. We basically just saw like an interaction between two warriors, yourself being one included. So now we're seeing like a bow, we're seeing you can parry. I mean, so far it looks great. This does look really good. I wish I had a 4K TV, because I've still yet to in person see like a PlayStation 4 Pro running on a quality 4K TV. I don't even know anybody with a 4K TV, so maybe that's something I should probably get going forward. But I do want to get a PlayStation 4, and I guess now would be a better time than any, since all the games are out for it, and there's still a few decent releases that are going to be coming out, including going into the next year or two. It wouldn't surprise me if the amount of money that they could still make from it, even if they were just selling these games digitally, maybe not physically, maybe you still can't go to Walmart in, say, June of 2021, after the PS4 has been out for a year and a half. At that point, maybe you still can't do that, but you know, the cross-gen gap is getting bigger, and like I was talking about with the Xbox 360, these consoles aren't being just not supported slash like discontinued so quickly. There's like a bigger time involved, so that's cool to see. So I guess for me or anyone else, I mean, if you're gonna get a PS4, it's probably just as good a time as ever. Same for the Xbox One X. I mean, that thing would still be good to go along with Game Pass. I'd imagine Game Pass will still be on that thing supporting it. I mean, we're talking about 40+ million consoles even after the Series X comes out, unless maybe that thing is like a super hit from day one and really, you know, outsells its previous number and they actually talk sales numbers coming up. Hopefully Microsoft does that, and I hope that their console is just as successful, maybe if not more. Man, we got firecrackers. That's just brutal. But yeah, I like the conversation that I've been having so far. If you got any thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. I guess, I mean, we're almost halfway through here. I guess I will just sort of scroll real quick. You know, I've kind of given my take on it already. We're here during like a sunset scene, so we're pretty much hopping around. It seems, that's what I was going to say before. It seems like the weather effects and the weight of it, along with this story, which, like I said, I'm guessing is involving like your ancestors, you know, a scroll, passing down from the family. Like, that's the kind of stuff that goes on over in the Eastern world. And the weather kind of helps drive that like really heavy feel, whether it's these amazing blue skies or like in the
or sneaking around as the ghost.
Game Awards
different set of armor.
Kind of trailer that they showed. It was like kind of that same effect where half of the sky was like really dark and then the other sky was like really light with the rays from the light really just piercing through. And wherever you are in these towns, it seems like these roars of like tumbleweed and these like fire embers are like really abundant. So that could just be a depending on like what part of the map you're on. I'm guessing this game is like mostly open world, but it could be, I guess, sort of like a Shenmue. Maybe you travel like a giant part of the open world until you get to a certain part in the story. Maybe you take a boat and you travel to like a new area. But we have all these different fire smoke things coming off the mountain, so I mean, wow, that looks, yeah. I know a lot of people were like, I'll reserve judgment, but I'm more excited now than I was, as are a lot more people. But there's certain people that, when the initial thing came out for it, you know, at the Game Awards, they were like, gotta see more. And then now they're saying that they're really pumped for it. And just because we're seeing all this stuff doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a great game or that it's even going to feel great. But my initial impression is that this is going to be a pretty good game and a really good you know, standalone exclusive for the PS4 before PS5 comes out. So that's kind of like a good lasting game, or a good lasting stand of a last game to release on your PS4 console. And I'm sure we might even see some other games that we don't really know about that might look just as good on a PS4 Pro as they do on the PS5 when that comes out. So there's still going to be some more games coming. I'm excited to see that. I think it's going to be just about time to pull that trigger for the PS4. I've been wanting to do it before Final Fantasy VII came out, and I haven't got to play that yet, and that's my favorite game of all time, and I feel kind of sad that, you know, I kind of missed that boat, but I'm still going to play that at some point. Anyways, we're almost at the end of this trailer here, so I guess we will just
play in special ways.
Outro. Roll it.
But we have so much more to show you in the future.
So guys, I have so much more to show you in the future. My name's D-Dub. Let me know what you thought about this discussion. Do you have anything to add to it? If so, leave a comment down below. Cue the epic music. I'm D-Dub. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. This is the best gaming channel on the internet, bar none. Come back now. Like I said, like that smash button, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video.